the Indigos Lounge. This is Alyce Dylan, and we are going to discuss eudaemonic resonance today. Big word, simple concept. Eudaemonic resonance basically boils down to if it feels good, do it. If it doesn't feel good, you're either not lined up with it or it's not good for you. Yeah, hello. Does it sound simple? Yes. And the last couple of centuries of human existence have tended to push narratives against this. So it started out with the church and the church's alliance with the, no, I don't believe it started here for sure, but the furthest back I can find evidence of it is the church's propagation of the idea that suffering got you into heaven, therefore you should suffer. So if you were a serf or a slave, it was a good thing because then you go to heaven more easily than the lords and ladies and whatnots. And so that was supposed to have everybody happy with their lot, you know? And so that tumbled into other ways of thinking, especially the Judeo-Christian world has this idea that suffering is a glorious thing. I don't think many of us buy it anymore, but, you know, it's still pushed out there. And I'm not saying that suffering's not got its perks. Any time of extreme hardship, or if we are feeling let down by life in any way, this is often an indication that we're in need of healing and we're on a healing journey. Crisis is also has a lot of positives to it, but eudaemonic resonance isn't talking much about the crises or the big happenings, the big events. So it's talking about in your day what feels better, turning left or turning right. And the idea that eudaemonic resonance is saying go with what feels good, go with your gut, and also go with what unfolds for you. Another couple of popular words in modern parlance are the could, shoulds, and musts. Must do it this way, must do it that way. And as an indigo, you'll know there's just nothing there for you. Must go. It's not a truth that we resonate with. What we need to always find is what I want to do. So if somebody tells us, you must go and do this thing, yeah, nah, how about no? Yeah, we're not good at must. And it's not good for us, which is why we're not good at it, which is good, right? What we are good at is finding the want to. So yeah, no, I do want to go for my walk every day because I feel good after. But if I must go for my walk every day, then yeah, maybe not. So it's finding the want to. It's finding, and sometimes all that entails is reframing something. So it's reframing a mind and lining up with what it is you want to do, making it a want to. Easiest example of this is you've ever worked with a small child or you've had a small child of your own. Like, there we go, sweetie, you need to do your homework. I don't want to. All right. So, what is the incentive I can find here to reframe this for you so that you want to do it? Really, that's what parenting is about a lot of the time. It's reframing the musts into want tos. And that's what's good, you know, to achieve what's good for young people, but also to take cognizance of what they don't want to do, and maybe there's something in that. Always look at the want tos. So eudaemonic resonance is talking about the path of least resistance, if you'd like. It's the path that feels best for you, what feels yay. And often, if you are looking at a selection of options, there's door 1 and to 4. The best thing is to really sit with each door and find which feels yay. Look for the yay. And if nothing comes up as a yay, is really then to wait until something does. That's one thing people get wrong about us a lot. They say that indigos, ADHD, whatever label they like, that we procrastinate a lot. Yeah, maybe we do. But really what we're doing is we're waiting for the yay. That we've got a selection of options here and none of them is it. We haven't felt the yay yet. We haven't felt, nothing's lit up on our meter board. And so, no, I won't be doing that. Why? Because it doesn't give me a ping, because there's nothing yay and yummy about it. And sometimes that just takes a reframing. So it's reframing it to say, okay, but if I think about how I'm going to feel at the end of it once it's done, does that feel yay? And sometimes that's enough to shift it into a feeling good space. But dragging ourselves up a hill, resisting all the way, you know that's just not the way to go. It's not the way life rolls. It's not what's yay, yummy, and happy, happy, joy, joy. And that's really our minimal bottom line. We want life to be joyous, we want life to be playful, and we want to love. And we know that joy and play and bliss are the ways to get us into a loving state, always. So procrastination for us is about, I have not found the pathway to doing this yet that lines up with feeling good. And so I either need to think about it or and reframe it, or I need to wait for another path to unfold. And when we do that, you'll be surprised how often whatever it is that we were not able to get ourselves to do ended up to be a waste of time anyway if we had done it, or if it was really not worth doing in the first place. So often procrastination is us responding to our intuition, saying, I can't get myself to do this. I cannot get myself to write this stupid report. And then what? Next day a memo comes down, no, we now want the report saying this. You see? So just track that for yourself, see if that rings true for you. All the times you procrastinated, what people would call procrastination, was it really you waiting for it to feel better? Because often when we do that, when we wait for it to feel good, we find the perfect alignment and then things flow. And we don't glorify struggle terribly much. We don't glorify hardship and pain, and we reach for joy. We reach for peace at the very least. We reach for contentment. And whatever's on that band, we'll go there. But there's very little that you'll get an indigo or ADHD or one of us to do that doesn't blip onto above contentment on the emotional scale. So, what are some of the other things that life gets wrong for us? In other words, things that are framed differently. I'll tell you one, and just because it's up for me right now, there is this idea of gossiping and backbiting. People don't pay much attention to it because the 5 cents world has kind of embraced it. Social media, I think people whine and bitch about people and call people names. Oh gosh, it's mean and horrible out there, isn't it? But there's an obscure passage somewhere in one of the sacred writings, one of the spiritual teachings that really hit me hard when I read it. It said that backbiting can injure the soul concerned for up to 50 years. I've always remembered that. Because backbiting takes two people, right? It's the backbiter and it's the listener. So there's always two people involved, at least, in this endeavor. And it's a meanness, it's a cowardly meanness. If you have an issue with someone, go and have an issue with someone. Or find what your issue is and resolve it in yourself, and then there's no need to have a confrontation. But backbiting is very injurious energetically. And I know for myself that when people want to sit and talk badly about others in my company, I can't do it. To me, I can feel the injury of that. Just like indigos can't maliciously harm others. I'm not saying we don't get mad and say things we don't mean. We're certainly not saints, but the malicious injury to another soul is just nothing. We can't do that. The backlash from that, we would feel that more strongly than the person being injured would. What would be the point of that? There's no win-win there. So backbiting falls into that category of things that we would not like to participate in because we know it's injurious to another soul. And here we go, I'm telling you, confirmation. It is injurious. It causes energetic injury to the person being talked about. But here's another thing, a lot of us, and me included, always know when someone's talking about us. Like we have physical symptoms. I know what mine are, and I always know when I'm being talked about. So it's a pretty whammy thing. Like someone in the world somewhere is talking about me in an unpositive way. Of course, when people talk about you in a positive way, there's a positive feedback from that. It's not negative. But yeah, when people talk about you in a negative way, I know my symptoms of that. There's others too. We have strange ways sometimes of interpreting knowing. So clairsentience, if you like, can manifest in different ways. Someone once told me that every time they're about to receive large amounts of money, there's this one certain symptom that they get, and they know it's absolutely every time that's what's going to happen. So let me know in the comments if there's one that really stands out for you. Is there a symptom you get or an experience you have when you know X or Y or Z is about to happen? So for me, I know when people are talking about me, there's a certain thing that happens with my ears. I know, oh, someone's having a nice little complaining bitch session somewhere. Lots of love to you. Let them go with grace. But what else? Sometimes we know when the day is about to be one of those I should have stayed in bed days. You know, you wake up in the morning and there's a certain series of things that can happen. Now, fairies, our people on the other side, can talk to us in very specific ways and warn us. Today is going to be one of those days. And if you, someone who has Reiki, for example, you could send Reiki out into the day if you need to go anyway. Sometimes when I experience that, I just literally cancel the day and just, wait for it to pass, do some meditation, sit in some detoxing. But there can be lots of others that I've heard of along the way. Is there a certain person that calls you or thinks about you, or when they do something happens? Lots of little ways we get to know what's happening around us. But in general, eudaemonic resonance feels good. Like a picture will jump off the screen for us, and we'll go and research that, and it'll hold something for us. So eudaemonic resonance means following the yay, following the, ooh, that looks interesting. And then when you follow that, it really does hold something for you. On the other hand, defying eudaemonic resonance would be things like, oh, I must do this, or I must do that. You hear it now a lot in the alternative healing community. Like the clients will tell me they've spoken to someone who's told them they must do DMT, or they must do mushrooms, or they must do... There's no musts here. I don't believe in must. Must is, and the antithesis of eudaemonic resonance. Must is a forceful skewing. When it's eudaemonic resonance, it's flow. It's pathways open up, doors open up, opportunities open. It's effortless, it's easy, it flows. And what you find there is brilliant. It can mean the difference between let me give you an example. One of the things I've always liked about the journey with Reiki is Reiki really facilitates a gentle healing. So it opens up new things and it gives you exactly what you're ready for. It does guide you. It does provide guidance and ongoing healing, but it's a smooth rollout. There's nothing catastrophic or chaotic that I have experienced or seen in others in Reiki. Reiki is gentle. So someone, for example, who plots a healing path or an awakening path for themselves that entails taking mushrooms or psychedelics or something, that can be a really forced shift that maybe takes them places they're not ready for. That's not what eudaemonic resonance is. Unless you were out on a retreat with a bunch of people and they suggested this and they were really experienced and they were facilitators and you were in the perfect place and it felt good and it felt like, yes, right now is good. And then that would be eudaemonic resonance. You see the difference? And now something perhaps a little off topic, but it's been sitting on my mind since I did the Genes experiment explainer video for you guys. Go back and watch that. So some Californian professor did an independent study. They studied DNA of psychic people versus normies. And they discovered that it's the normies who are the mutants and the psychics that are the normals. Anyway, I'll have a look at that study. But what came from there was that there is now a substance that they have developed that can negate the mutation. So they've developed a substance which they're using for Alzheimer's and other mind-brain issues, where it can reduce the symptoms of that, but it also happens to negate this intron that separates people from their spirit selves. And then today I also came across a clip of a plant. There is a blue dye in a plant that has been around or been known about since the 1800s, which does the same thing. So there again, this chap spent a bunch of money and did a whole bunch of research on something. Well, at least we know we're normies now. At least we know we're the normies and they're the mutants. But besides that, there's always been a plant that does the same thing, that negates the mutation of blocking spiritual perception. And so what's been on my mind is the idea that 5 sense people, we have been through our own experiences, indigos, traumatized as children, got a grip on ourselves, maybe in our 20s, 30s, maybe have embraced our true nature, maybe we've now settled into it. And now we're looking at this possibility of mass awakening 5 sensed individuals. But they're in their adulthood, so maybe they wouldn't all go nuts. What do you think would happen? What would happen if we lined up all the 5 sensed mutants and got them to take the blue plant substance that opens them up to their 6th sense? I think it would be chaotic and traumatic. And I don't think that unless you've lived lives like ours, you're ready to deal with the influx of the energy. I don't think it would be a good idea from anyone's perspective. I'm glad that the facility exists for 5 sensed individuals who would like to negate their mutation. I think it's nice that there's an option. But I can't see how it would be a positive thing for any 5 sensed individual to be rudely awakened like that. Can you imagine? I don't know. Maybe there's some of you that turned off your spiritual perception for a while and lived as a 5 sensed individual and then came back to it as an adult. Maybe you took some medication and then when it stopped, you came back. Yeah, I'd love some people to weigh in on this idea. Should we restore the natural, organic evolution of humanity to 6th sense spiritual perception? Should that be a way we should lean into? Or do you think that people are where they are and they should be allowed to continue? Because eudaemonic resonance here would say that everyone should follow their bliss and should follow what feels good for them. And it should all be gentle and it should unfold beautifully. And anything that is enforced or manipulated doesn't create a good outcome. It doesn't have the optimal outcome. So I think it's nice that the 5 sensed have an option to awaken their spiritual perception if they are truly willing and wanting and desiring for that. But I don't think that should be decided for anyone. Certainly wouldn't wish it on anyone. There we go, lovelies. Let me know what you think. So that's eudaimonic resonance. The flow. The flow of things as you're ready for them in your own time, really. I mean, people talk about God's time, but it's your time. You receive the information you're ready for, you receive the lessons you're ready for, you receive the abundance you're ready for. And if you haven't received it, nobody's withholding anything from you. You're not ready for it. That's the bottom line. The basis truth. It's a difficult one, but eudaimonic resonance tells us if we go with what feels good, what feels fun, what uplifts us, life will unfold like a flower before us. And that will take us to our next steps. And this wisdom is as old as Zen, because there is a Zen saying that your next steps will lead you to your next steps, which used to frustrate me when I was in mastery. My sensei had a lot of Zen proverbs, and they would, pull my hair out, but now I really love them. So your next steps will lead you to your next steps, lovelies. Trust that. Just keep moving forward with love, always.